Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon. The news continues at 12:30. Bill Bryant and Rebecca Smith in today for Barbara.
Well, the flakes were flying this morning around our area.
The snow didn't amount to much, but we're certainly keeping an eye on the forecast for potentially more. Let's begin with WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris, who's tracking it for us.
Well, it's going to be an interesting snowstorm as we head, and I call it a snowstorm. You will have some rain along with it too, but I still think now, looking at the latest data coming out from this morning's data, it looks like this thing's shifting a little bit farther north, so that's the one going to be on Sunday into Monday, which we'll really dive into in your full forecast. But right now, not much happening. It actually looks pretty good outside, except for the southern zones. Southeastern zones, Hazard and Perry County. Work your way down the Howard Rogers Parkway. It just doesn't look that great. Give it some time, and it'll slowly fall apart. Look where everybody else is looking at. Lexington, Northern Split. That's fantastic. It looks great outside. Look, and we're there around freezing, but I promise you this, it doesn't feel like freezing. It feels much colder with those winds really whipping around. We're at 33 degrees the rest of the afternoon, and tomorrow morning at 19. We really ramp some things up, upper 30s, lower 40s tomorrow, and then it's that Sunday storm. And meteorologist Jim Caldwell, he's over here in the Weather Center. We were just talking about it. Go over the latest data. I'll show you what that shows coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. An alert today on the Eastern Kentucky University campus in Richmond, where police are investigating a report of a sexual assault.
It happened around 7:30 last night as the victim walked on campus. And we're going to have more on that in a little bit.
Hillary Thornton with that report ready to go now. Hillary?
Well, good afternoon, Bill and Rebecca. That's right. Eastern Kentucky University police issued that campus safety alert after a report came into them, including inappropriate sexual contact and harassment on campus Thursday evening. University officials say it happened around 7:30 near the Powell building and the Barnes & Noble campus bookstore. A woman told officials that is where she was approached by 3 black men, and one made sexual contact with her without her consent. According to the campus alert, the victim told officials the 2 other men with the suspect followed her after that inappropriate contact and harassed her. Now, EKU officials say they aren't sure if the 3 men are students, and they ask anyone with information to contact campus police. In Richmond, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
All right, thank you so much. Officials say they are not sure at this point if the 3 men are EKU students or not.
A Southern Kentucky gas station has been damaged in a drunk driving crash. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says a woman ran off of Oak Hill Road early this morning and knocked over a gas pump. WKYT's Victor Puente is there to show us the damage. Victor?
This crash happened early yesterday morning. Police say that's a good thing, because if it had happened while this gas station was open, someone could have been seriously injured. The crash happened around 3 a.m. Thursday morning. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Department says 27-year-old Megan Ganshorn was driving north on Oak Hill Road when she lost control of her car, hitting a water hydrant, then a gas pump at the Oak Hill Food Mart. That collision started a fire. Police tell me it was most likely leaking gas, but the Somerset Fire Department was able to put it out. Deputies say Ganshorn refused medical treatment. They believe the crash happened because Ganshorn was high on drugs and arrested her for DUI and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Most people think of the problem with alcohol with drunk driving or with it being under the influence, but they can also be under the influence of drugs, and as a result of that, we're making a concerted effort to get those people off the road.
Workers at the gas station tell me the pumps have a cutoff to prevent any gas from spilling in just this type of scenario. In Pulaski County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
And clerks at the Oak Hill Market say it could be more than a month before that pump is replaced. Well, a car crash has killed a teenager and injured a second. It happened on Shakertown Road in Boyle County last night. Investigators say 17-year-old Hannah Lawson ran her car off of the road and hit a tree. The car then flipped and landed on a rock fence. That crash killed Lawson's boyfriend, 17-year-old Daniel Neal. Investigators say speed and wet roads played a role in it. Lawson's family says it's a dangerous road.
The edging of the road, in places, are over 2 feet drop off. And once if you get off the edge of this road and try to get back on, there's no way much of, correcting without, having an accident.
Investigators say the teenagers were not wearing seat belts.
We're tracking the search now for the man who broke into a Lexington gas station overnight. It happened around 2 a.m. at the Marathon gas station on West Main and Jefferson Streets. Surveillance video shows a man used a rock to break the glass, went inside and stole Black & Mild's. The store owner tells us he thinks the same man broke into his store last Thursday. We're also tracking a crime alert after an overnight home invasion on UK's campus. People living in a house on State Street told police they woke up to hear someone in the home. They say their TV was stolen. Police do not have any information about the suspect.
A man is in jail accused of dragging an officer down the road in a car. Jamal Robinson was arrested in Lexington. The sheriff's office says after a chase in December, Robinson tried to hit a deputy with his car. And when a deputy tried to grab the keys out of the ignition, police say Robinson dragged the deputy as he was hanging out the window. The deputy was taken to the hospital with injuries to his ribs at the time. Police are wanting to find a man suspected in an unusual theft. Richmond police say this man stole more than $250 in meat from a Save-A-Lot. They say he got out of a small red vehicle that you see in the picture there. Once he's caught, he's going to be charged, they say, with robbery.
Well, preschoolers who lost their classrooms to a fire could be in temporary ones by the middle of the month. The Interior Journal reports workers are putting the finishing touches on 4 modular classrooms behind the Lincoln County Board of Education. Part of the building burned in August, destroyed the preschool. Right now, students are using space at a church, 3 classrooms at Stanford Elementary and 1 at the McGuffey 6th grade center. Well, there are some new warnings about the amount of sugar in our food, and evidence links alcohol to strokes.
With those health stories and more, Ebony Williams now in this Better Living Report.
A new study finds that heavy drinking may be a bigger stroke risk than traditional factors like high blood pressure and diabetes. Research in a journal of the American Heart Association looked specifically at middle-aged drinkers. Those who consumed more than 2 alcoholic beverages a day raised their risk of stroke about 34%. Health experts are recommending a drastic reduction in how much added sugar Americans eat. Research in the Mayo Clinic proceedings warns specifically about high fructose corn syrup and table sugar. Researchers say added sugars are a key driver of type 2 diabetes and should be restricted to 6 teaspoons a day for women, 9 teaspoons for men. And people prone to getting kidney stones could be at increased risk for heart disease. A new study finds kidney stone patients have more calcium deposits in their arteries, which are believed to be a strong risk factor for the heart. Researchers say CT scans may be useful for monitoring those calcifications. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Ebony Williams, CBS News, New York.
Hey, there's a lot more coming up on WKYT News here at 12:30 on your Friday. A clinic for amputees who want a more active lifestyle. We'll have details about that ahead.
Plus, an exciting show coming to the Lexington Opera House, a preview of Peter and the Starcatcher.